Hi, is all the sound fine? I guess, maybe. At least all the bars are reacting. Sounds good. My face is kind of blocking the chat, but maybe people can see. Um, yeah, new background, and the thing that I just noticed like a while ago is that the background is actually AI generated. So if you look really closely, you will see like small flaws everywhere, and things don't really make sense. But I think that's fine. Also, I definitely didn't leave all the slide making to the last minute and kind of forgot to make any notes. Yeah. I guess I'll just start. Um, so today's game is me trying not to freak out when I do self-introduction. Um, I sure love self-introductions, so let me just set this thing up. Um, and I'll be doing a lot of talking. Um, also try not to spill my tea. So yeah, self-introduction, and there's going to be cake at the end, I promise. If you can make it that far. I have no idea how long this will take. Like maybe it's 20 minutes. I'll just rush things through and then end the stream. But if there are, you know, conversations or questions in the chat, then I'll stop and answer those. Okay, yeah, this is the first slide. There are 11 slides. And I made like half of them today, and I hope that they are not, and like there are no typos or anything, but I won't promise. Okay, first thing, about the model. The model, the design and rigging is done by Nick Konime, and you can find their Twitter with those nicknames, usernames, as well as their Etsy and Fiverr. Now I'll be looking for typos. No, don't. I'll be showing the whole, like, the full model, maybe, at the end of the stream, when it's fine to things just crash and go badly if they go. If I start to tinker the software. But yeah, You can also find the link in my Twitch bio, the description to their Etsy, I believe. And I haven't updated my Twitter bio yet, but there's going to be a link to their profile as well. Big thanks to Nekonime if you're ever watching this. I really like the model. It's pretty much all the things that I asked for, and it was well made. Maybe I can show some of the toggles. If you've been following my Twitter or you've been watching me previously, you'll know that this logo behind the slide is kind of my trademark logo. And you can also find it in my eyes. So I can toggle my eyes like this. I'm not sure if you can see, if I need to zoom. It is there. But the origin of this logo, well, basically origin of the logo, having the logo in the eyes, takes back to this, I'm gonna say a lot of in this stream because I'm going to be talking so much. Yeah. The history of the logo is there's a Vocaloid song called was it called like Android Girl, and there's this character that is an android, and she has this kind of logo in her eyes, and I always thought that it was cool, and you know, something that I would eventually want my model to have as well. Yeah, this tea is good. Also, there are some facial other expressions like happy, angry, which goes very, very well with the eyes. Hey, Brad, you made it. And then there's sad. But in the future, I'm probably going to my heart. But yeah, in the future, I'm most likely going to commission more like outfits and stuff, since the artist is really supportive, and like they said that if I ever want anything added, I just message them and they'll do a commission for me, which is nice. Yeah, about the well, you can always see half of it, the outfit. It's almost identical in style what I usually wear at work, or if I go to, you know, like library or do something outside. Like, I like to wear like usually quite formal clothes. Actually, there are two modes. I either dress formally, or then I look like an absolute bum, or like very loose hoodies and pants and stuff. Like there are only two extremes in the way I dress. But yeah, that's real life stuff. Let's talk about that. But yeah, I'll professional or loose? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's go forward. Yeah, you can find Nekohime in the description. Two sides of a man, yeah. Oh, one thing about the model. The gray part in the hair is sort of a reference to what's happening to my hair in real life. I've always had these white spots, like pigmented hair, mixed with my normal brown blonde hair. And lately, it's been spreading, so I'm kind of turning gray from my left side, especially left side of my beard is more white or gray than any other hair. Yeah, that's enough of hair talk. Yeah, basic info. Name Kazu, or sometimes people call me KDX. A little bit of history of those. The nickname Kazu is quite a story here. I used to teach Japanese. No, not Japanese. I used to talk to Japanese people and teach them English and Finnish online. And one time I had this, like, maybe middle-aged salaryman who was, just wanting to talk. He wanted someone to talk in English, and I wanted someone to talk with in Japanese. And we would do calls in Discord and stuff. And one time we were talking about nicknames that people call us. And I'm not going to tell what his nickname was, like, just protecting his privacy and all. But when it was my turn, I told him that my parents and my grandparents call me Atu, which is I'm not sure, it's not even remotely close to what my real name is, but that's the nickname that they gave me. And I told him that, and he heard Kazu for some reason. Like, if you think about it, they maybe distantly sound similar. Maybe if you have bad headphones or something. But I corrected him that it's not Kazu, it's Atu. And I even typed the name to him, but he never memorized it. He kept calling me Kazu even after that. And I kept correcting him until I was too tired to even correct him and just let him call me Kazu. His mind was made up, yeah. Or maybe he had someone named Kazu in the past as a friend, and he wanted a new Kazu. I mean, it's fairly common nickname in Japan, I guess. Kazu. Then KDX. This is also fairly long story. So I play Final Fantasy XIV, not so much anymore, but Um, I used to have alternative character that was the cat race Migote, and I called it Kisa. Excuse me, Kisa.x. And it was Kisa means cat in Finnish, and it was reference to the old meme cat.x stopped working. And whenever I joined an FC, the guild in game, and I joined their Discord, and they wanted me to, they wanted all the members to have their names as their server, like their in-game names and their server names. And I didn't want people to call me Kissa because I thought it was kind of dumb. So I shortened it. I did shorten it to KDX. So I was called KDX in the server. And that was fine. Like, people understood that it's Kissa.x. And then the problem was that other characters that I had were named differently. Man, you could have been Discord kidding. No thanks. And you refused it, yes. I would have lost all my 9 lives at that moment if someone called me Discord kitty. Where was I in the story? Yeah, the problem was that I was in different 3 companies, guilds, and with different characters, and then I would be called with different names because I had different nicknames. But then I realized that if I just changed the names of those characters to something that starts with K and then .x, for example, now my main account, well, my main character is called Kazu.x. So then I can use KDX everywhere. I simplified things. And that's the origin of KDX. I think I was using KDX even when I first time landed on the server where me and Reth both are. Like, it's a really, really long history with that name. I'm already yawning. More info. My height, 192 centimeters or 6'3" in American units. Age, I'm at the age where I feel happy when the cashier asks my ID if I ever buy alcohol. This hasn't been happening much lately. But to be fair, I don't drink alcohol or buy alcohol that often either. If I do, it's like every now and then weekends, like I buy maybe 2 cans and then drink them in a span of like 5 hours, so I barely even get any tipsy. I just get relaxed. Yeah, I guess a lot of people can relate with that. like it's kind of funny actually. When I was like 14, the kids my age, they started to be interested in trying alcohol and cigarettes. And like the kids from different schools, when they saw me at store or like exiting the store, they would pull my sleeve and ask me if I was able to go and buy them alcohol. And I was 14 myself back then. And I told them, and I even showed them like, wait, I was like 15 when I got my like driving license for mopeds and stuff. But they couldn't believe me that I was that young. I looked old even when I was young. But then like around 2021 or so, I stopped aging, I guess. At least I wanna think I did. But I think it has a lot to do with the genetics with my father. It's like my dad, when he was in his 50s and 60s, he still looked like 30 years old. He had such a baby face, and I'm kind of the same. So we'll see how long that will last, or if I age faster because of my hair turning gray. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. My birthday is March 9th. Nothing special about that. My current occupation is I work as a automation and AI engineer. I haven't done. My current job is fairly new. I haven't been working there 4 months now, and I've been only doing like simple automation programs, and the AI stuff comes later, according to my boss. I have a degree in computer science. I have a bachelor's degree, but next year I'm going to go and do my master's. Just because I want to get more educated. What after bachelor's, I was thinking that I'm tired of school, and I just want to go and work and make money. So I was doing a lot of freelancing, like about 2 years after graduating. And then after 2 years, I was getting bored with, well, not bored, but maybe lazy because of the lack of routine. Like I always had to go and search new jobs, like new contracts, and who would pay my rent and stuff. So then I applied to day job, and I've been there ever since. I really enjoy my job. It's I get to be my own boss because I'm the only one working with the projects that I'm working with, and I'm probably the most formal person doing this stuff there. There are a lot of like university dropouts and self-learned people in the company, and I'm just like, I always do everything so properly and formally, like display all the plans and stuff, and it's just people are just like, I don't even understand half of this. But yeah, it's kind of a curse, even though it's also comforting to hear that I'm doing a good job. But yeah, require criticism as well. My current location, the land of Nokia. If you know, you know. Well, I basically already revealed that I live in Finland currently. And yeah, you can pretty much figure that out since I talk English, Finnish, Japanese, and Swedish. Proficiency is not in that order, although my English and Finnish are pretty much the same. At least I want to think so. At least my comprehension is the same. Even Finnish is sometimes confusing to me. Next slide. So, my reasons for streaming and becoming a VTuber. Self-growth and to not be a hermit, which I am most of the time. I don't really go outside unless it's something I really need to go. I don't really have like in real life friends that I hang out with. All my friends are online friends, or they are like friends from my childhood, but they live like on the other side of Finland, so I can never meet them. Or if I do, it's very rarely. Grass. Self-growth. Yeah. I've always hated being the center of attention, but that's something that everyone needs to deal with at some point of their lives when they are presenting themselves or in a work environment and stuff. So I started streaming to get better at that, and I've been streaming maybe actively, I'd say like almost a year now, or semi-actively. Why VTuber? I've always liked the idea of people in the stream kind of, at least this is what I did with VTubers, is that I associate the streamer with the character instead of the real life person, and kind of the content that they do and community that they create, and it's some sort of escapism, similar to playing video games, that if you find a community of, you know, VTubers community, and like they're all kind of doing the same things and liking the same things and, you know, playing games and stuff. Maybe it's like an advanced version of gaming communities from the old times. And since Japanese popular culture and gaming are so intertwined, that it's only natural that people who play games often also use they watch anime and read manga or stuff like that. And also Lem here in the chat has been really big support to me, and kind of I wanted to try VTubing because I was watching her so much. Like I was watching her grow and how she kind of developed herself, and how she changed over the time. So yeah, that's the that's enough mush. So yeah, those are my reasons. Maybe I'm missing something. But yeah, let's move forward. My hobbies. I have quite a lot of hobbies. Obviously, games, streaming. Those are given. Then Iaido. It's a Japanese Budo martial art that has an emphasis in sword drawing and defending yourself from sudden attacks. But it's done with a sword, so it's not really useful if someone attacks you on the street, especially in Finland where you cannot, carry weapons. I'm a practitioner as well as instructor in quotes, because I'm not a teacher, but my sensei often points me out to teach kata or the techniques to younger practitioners and someone who are lower ranks. I have first Dan, which is like Shodan. It's comparable. We don't have belts. Well, we do have belts, but we don't have like color code belts. So Shodan is the first degree black belt, and that's my rank. And next year, I'm supposed to. My sensei said this week that next year I have to go to Japan to our Japanese sensei's dojo so I can get the second Dan, the second degree black belt. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. They are also we go to Japan yearly. At least now we continue doing that because after the pandemic was stopping us from going to Japan, so now we are restarting those activities again. So a lot of people are going to Japan in 2 weeks to practice Iaido. But I'll stay here because I have work to do. I can't take time off from work. That was the reason to use my emote. I can't go to Japan. But yeah, work ruins everything. Next, programming and game creation. So it's quite obvious that I do programming since I have computer science background. But I also I have a couple game projects that I'm working on. And more about those later. But yeah, I do graphics, programming, story writing, and even music creation. Although I haven't touched that yet that much. Reading technical books. I read a lot of books, but I never read like fiction. I don't care about storybooks. I do read visual novels, but they are closer to games than books. So technical books are like mathematical books or programming books or even like psychology. Um, oh yeah, this is what I didn't say about my like past education is that I studied with computer science. I studied statistics, mathematics. Hey Ash, nice to see you here too. So I studied with computer science. I studied mathematics, statistics, and I specialized in data analysis and like data science. But besides of those subjects, I also studied psychology, neurology, Japanese, and physics. And most besides Japanese, they are all kind of like in the area of technical and fancy. Thank you. So yeah, those are really mathematical books that I like. And also, sometimes I read philosophical books, but those are hard to read even for me. Like I really need to focus on the words and sentences that are written there because I don't know, it's just really hard. Next thing, personality psychology. This is connected to sort of the game creation because I have an interest in NPCs, especially the kind of immersion that NPCs create for players in games, and how to make the NPCs more human-like and in a way where people feel like the NPCs are closer to humans than they are just NPCs. And I'm really interested in like the ways of applying personality psychology in games when you create characters and stuff, and also how it affects people when they play the game. So yeah, that's a really interesting topic to me. Folklore and mythology, these are something that I nerd about, especially Japanese folklore, like old religions like Shintoism, Buddhism, like kami, yokai, stuff like that. Like I don't believe in any of those, but it's just really interesting to me to learn how people think, or how they see the world when they believe in such a things, and kind of where a lot of things, even in Finland, we used to have old religions, and for example, thunder is named after a god in Finland. Like a lot of words in Finnish also come from the old mythology and folklore. So yeah, that's like the origin of the words are also interesting to me. And yeah, making up excuses to procrastinate from doing any of the above. I do procrastinate a lot. I sometimes struggle to find the flow or interest in doing any of the hobbies. I'm just watching YouTube, useless videos, and yeah. What else? Yeah, regarding procrastination, um, the reason why I started eIDO isn't because I wanted to, because I'm such a big weeb. That's not the reason why I started. It was because I was looking for a way to improve my concentration, because I noticed during university that I had hard time to focus on studying, because university really required you to read stuff and memorize stuff, and I'm really bad at that because I usually just do things rather than learn things. I learn by doing, or I just study things that I need to do. But if there's a lot of memorizing, then I lose interest in things. But yeah, I started eIDO because of that. I wanted to get self-disciplined, so to say. And I could say that I have noticed a difference in my concentration and focus over these past almost 6 years that I've been practicing eIDO. I'm better at getting into the flow state and just, getting things done when they need to be done, and I don't get distracted by other like external things. Okay, so the next slide is kind of related to personality stuff. This is how I've collected things that I've heard people say to me, and they quoted them. So let's go through this one by one. You should smile more. No, wait, one more thing. So the reason why I'm going through this is because I'm really interested in how people create image of another people, like other people, and how the person themselves view themselves in comparison. So that's why we're doing this. So you can, if in the future you agree with something here or disagree with something here, like I'm really interested to hear that. So yeah, you should smile more. This is something that I hear quite often, and it has a lot to do with how unexpressive I am. Which the thing in the middle, I bet your face wouldn't change even if someone was to cut your arm off. This is something that one of my senpais in eIDO said to me, because in eIDO there's this thing called metsuke, which is the kind of face that you need to make at higher ranks, or you need to learn to make this kind of face where you express that you're about to kill someone. Like it's just an expression. Of course, you're not going to kill anyone, but it is meant to be like a scare tactic, like show your intent. But my face doesn't change. I look calm, even though I'm doing the hara and like doing all these like dangerous moves, and my face doesn't change at all. And my senpai said this to me one day. Yeah, moving on. Kazu is the type of person who doesn't enjoy winning but seeing others lose to him. It was told by someone, I do PvP in Final Fantasy XIV, and I was in this small PvP group, and one dude there just said this to me, like, maybe it's true. Like, I get really competitive in PvP games, and I don't care if I'm the number one. But if I see like a really good player and I lose to them 10 times, and then the 11th time is when I win, I take pride with it, and like I feel really good about it, and I just quit for the day just because I beat that guy, just because I beat a good player. So yeah, maybe that's true. I thought you were serious, and I thought you were joking. This is the reference of people having hard time telling when I'm being serious and when I'm joking, and it has to do with me being unexpressive. Like, people often, maybe I've been getting better with sarcasm. Like, I can express sarcasm better. But still, there are a lot of people who take me seriously when I'm not being serious, and people not taking me seriously when I'm actually being serious. You could be more subtle with your comments, but I can always counter you to be direct. This is also something that I'm quite direct. Like, I don't sugarcoat things. I don't know what else to say. Like, people like, I've heard people say that I say harsh things. Like, some people can't take it, but then some actually come and like, say that they appreciate that I'm being logical and direct about something, instead of, lying to them that I like something, or something is good, or something went well. Yeah, that's how people describe me. Oh wait, there's something really small there. He's not a cactus, but a hedgehog. Kazu acts emotionless, but is actually sweet inside, and cares even he doesn't admit it. Okay, moving on. So this is how I'm described by myself. I like to think that I'm quite calm usually, and I hear that people say that I'm calm, so but sometimes I appear calm even though inside I'm not calm, and I'm anxious, and a lot of things happening inside my head, which leads to overthinking. I'm a huge overthinker, and overthinking leads to daydreaming, and I spend a lot of time just staring at walls, ceilings, laying down on my bed and just thinking things. I'm not sure, maybe a lot of people can relate to that. It's not that uncommon, I guess. Um, Visually non-expressive. Also, the intent of that visually is way too. It should be more left. Now it's bothering me. Yeah, maybe I forgot to add that I'm perfectionist to some degree. But yeah, visually non-expressive. This is something that I do admit. Direct, yes. Can't read the room, says inappropriate things in wrong situations. This was really bad when I was younger. I would scare people off because I couldn't understand the situation. I couldn't understand what people were feeling around me. But I've been getting better at this. I don't know if this is a funny story, but this is something that comes to my mind every time if I was to make an example of this. I was on maybe 4th grade. And I had a classmate, and I think it was, I'm not sure if it was a bunny or guinea pig. No, it was a bunny. Yeah, it was a bunny. And her bunny died, and everyone were like, "Oh, that's horrible," and I'm sorry and stuff like that. And I didn't say anything. What I thought was the best thing was that I would back then. PCs weren't that common. Like, it was rare to people to have a PC at home, at least where I lived, and we weren't that rich. I'm actually the first in my whole family tree to acquire a higher education. So a lot of my family members are like low wage workers. So we didn't have computers. So the option was to schedule a time at your local library to use a computer. And after school, I would go. No, it wasn't after school. It was on the weekend. I would go to the library, use the computer, and I would search websites and stores where you could get new bunnies, like a pet bunnies. And it was really common to print websites from the printer back then. So I used my own money. You had to pay for the prints. So I used my own money, print a lot of those like info boards about where to buy bunnies. And I made like these huge pack of files. And then I brought them to school, and I gave them to the girl who lost her bunny. And I thought I was making a good gesture, and convert, like being nice to her. But obviously, that's not the thing. You don't just go and tell people to buy a new pet whenever their pet dies. But back then, my mindset was that just get a new pet and you would be happy again. Yeah, I was trying to be helpful. So the girl ended up hating me, as well as the whole class. I didn't get detention though. I don't remember getting detention. I was quite a teacher's pet, that school at least. But yeah, I ruined a lot of friendships back in the day. at school because I couldn't relate to people, and I couldn't read the room. I was offending people with the things that I said, and people often told me that I was arrogant and all-knowing. So the way I coped was I just became quiet. I didn't really talk to anyone anymore. Yeah, that's the end of that story. Staring at the wall that much and can't read the room, which made the walls horrible. I'm goal-oriented planner. I have a lot of goals, which I'm going to talk about around the end of the stream. I do think that I'm lazy, and that's part of the reasons why I'm doing automation. Is I work hard to program software so that I can be lazy. Like it was funny last week. Like I got several tickets, and at work, and I was supposed to like use a lot of time to deal with those tickets, but it took like 10 seconds per ticket because I have made software that automatically takes care of everything. So I basically just typed one comment and the PC did all the work. And that's what I love about my job. It's really interesting to make those software, and then just let the machine be your slave. I'm not as serious as people think. So even though I'm not expressive, I'm really not that serious. I can excuse me. My tea is getting cold. Yeah, I'm not that serious. I can laugh. I can be funny. Believe me, I can be funny. Yeah. Next slide. Here we go. Likes and dislikes. I believe there are a lot more likes and dislikes, but I've tried to gather some of the most not that like common likes and dislikes that I have. Well, he's quiet and rain. That is very common, but yeah, maybe I just contradicted myself there. Picking the brains of people I find interesting. This is like I don't really talk to people at all. I might comment to someone about something, but I don't really try to connect with people just for the sake of connecting. Like there are people that I find interesting, the way they think, or what they do, or what kind of ideas they have. And then I might go and just message them or DM them about something, asking questions, just because I really like to see how they justify something that they think. Like, I have few friends that are like polar opposites of each other. So they don't know about each other. Like, they don't know each other's existence. But I'm 99% sure that if they met in real life, they would hate each other. Like, they're so different from each other, and they have different like views of the world. But I'd like to surround myself with people who are not, who don't necessarily even think the same way that I do. I kind of require that like new input of things and ideas, thoughts, so that I can implement them into my own views and thinking. Theorizing about hypothetical scenarios and what ifs. I think that's a quite common thing to most of the people. But when we're talking about what people like, this is something that I don't hear that often. But yeah. Spreadsheets and diagrams, as well as listing things, in case you didn't notice. I like lists. And organizing in general. I have a lot of spreadsheets and diagrams about games. Whiteboards. Yes, I have a whiteboard myself, but it's quite small. I wish I had a bigger one. I like to draw all my ideas, mathematical equations and stuff, even programming things. So instead of whiteboards, what I often do is write notes and putting them on the walls. When I was studying in university, one of my walls looked like I was solving a crime. Like, there was a bunch of like paper on the wall, and there were like lines and pens, like lines of drawn connecting different papers, and honestly, it was a sight to see. I never took a picture because after I teared all of them down after university, I didn't think that it was something that people would find interesting, and also there were a lot of things that I didn't want people to see. So, like, some of the programming ideas and equations that I make are something that I think are unique in a way that I haven't found anyone else to do. If I took a picture and shared it online, someone might have stolen my idea. And honestly, some of the notes are just cringy. Bookshelves and libraries. Yeah, I like the aesthetics of bookshelves, and I enjoy being in a library just because of the amount of books. Tomatoes. I love tomatoes. In all shapes and forms. Sometimes I just buy like whole tomatoes and eat them like apples. Because why not? They're good. Dislikes. Maybe this is just like something not that serious, but people who stand still and block the way in escalators. I honestly, whenever I stand, like, especially going down, whenever I stand behind these people, I get a huge urge to just kick their back and let them fall, roll down the escalator, because they don't care about other people. They don't pay attention that sometimes, like, I don't understand why escalators, they have stairs. What do you do when you have stairs? You walk up and down. So it doesn't matter if it goes automatically down. You can go down faster if you walk. Or up. Yeah. And also, sometimes people block ways, like aisles and stores, and that's pretty much the same. Very rude. Yes. And I'm not rude for kicking them. If I ever did. I've never. But, you know, if I was in a really bad mood about to snap at something, maybe I would. I don't know. Small talk. This is something, if you want to bore me, do small talk. It balances out. Yeah. So please, no small talk. If I want to know about the weather, I look outside. If you ask me how I'm doing all right. But you know, I won't. If people in the chat come to my stream and ask me how I'm doing, I'm not going to be rude at them. Of course, like, it's fine. I'm not being overly dramatic if someone tries small talk with me, but it's more of a thing in real life. Like, I never know how to go about small talk whenever people start talking to me, especially if I don't know them that well. And my answer is always, I'm okay. And I don't even ask them back how about them. Like, how about you? Because I don't want to continue the small talk. Oh boy, platformer games. Yes. If you ever give me any platformer games, say Crash Bandicoot, I will refund that gift and ban you from my chat. And that's final. Do not gift me. I won't be playing any platformer games. Those are the source of all my rage. Whenever there is a platforming thing in games or section, I feel like just seeing it makes me want to drop the game. Parties and crowded places. Yes, this is not that uncommon. I think a lot of people hate parties. So if you ask me if I'm fun at parties, no, because I'm not at the party. Vegetable-based meat products. I think that it's good that they are available, but for myself, I don't care about them. I think that if you're trying to mimic something, do it with the how should I say this? Whenever I want to eat something, like if it's a hamburger steak, I want it to be steak, not something that tastes like steak. If I want to eat something vegetable based, I want it to taste like that vegetable that it's made out of. I basically eat anything else. And I love vegetables and fruits, as you can see, tomatoes. So I'm a really mixed eater. Yeah, that's my 2 cents about that. Like, it's completely fine if you like them. Like, for example, if something's tofu based, then I'll just rather have I buy tofu. I like tofu. But I don't want to buy something that is made out of tofu and then it's artificially made to taste like something that it's not. Mushrooms. Yes, this is something I did like mushrooms when I was little, but not so much anymore. I like the taste. Like, well, I don't mind the taste of mushroom, but I don't like the texture of any mushroom. So if there are dried mushrooms and they are being made into a powder and it's mixed into the food, I don't mind it. It's completely fine. This is something that I find really uncanny myself. The Go language mascot. What if it's tofu made to taste like tomato? Then it's just tomato spice tofu. I have tasted a lot of things that are spiced that taste like ketchup or tomatoes, but that's like what are you taking notes about? The Go language mascot. So yeah, this is, I think it's weird. Even I think that it's weird. If you Google Go language mascot, you will know how it looks like. I don't have any phobias towards it. It's just something that whenever I see it, like it doesn't make sense. Like, it's even interesting to myself why I dislike it so much. It's just this blue blob that looks like gopher. And I don't know if it's the color, it's like what kind of combination it is, but whenever I see it anywhere, I want to click out. I cringe and then I just want to click out of it. Like, you can't make me jump scare with that. Or maybe you can, but I'm not scared of it. I just don't like watching it. And I would be really interested in if someone knows why, like if there's a reason why specifically I don't want like that. I've never seen it, but looking it up now, yeah. That was last of my tea. Yeah, how many slides do I have? Only 3 slides left. Maybe I don't need. Maybe my throat can take this. I don't need any more. Anything else to drink? It reminds me of old cartoons that look slightly gross for no reason. Maybe you're right. But yeah, I found it, like, I was interested in learning Go language. Like, I heard about the language and then I wanted to see the syntax and all, and like, try and write some programs with it. But the mascot, it's just, at least I don't have to look at it in my Visual Studio Code. But whenever I go read the document, it just pops out from somewhere and it ruins everything. Next, sticking to old rules if there's more efficient ways of doing something. Yeah, this is something that I hate. Like, in some cultures, it's tradition to do something in a certain way, but I cannot think of any examples here. I should have been taking out some notes. But yeah, maybe it's self-explanatory. My neck is getting tired. What's next? Here we go. Games and anime. I don't necessarily think that the things listed here are masterpieces, at least not all of them, but there are a lot of games that games and anime that left an impression to me, and that's why I listed them here. So I'll go them through one by one. Golden Sun, this is actually really dear game to me from my childhood. I played it a lot. I struggled a lot because I couldn't speak English back then. It was, well, at least that much when I was playing it. I couldn't understand the story. But later I played it. I still, if I think about it, I don't really like. Maybe I remember the main plot, but not like the plot twist and stuff like that. Yeah, Golden Sun. Final Fantasy, especially 14. This is what I explained. I think it's really popular series anyway. Retro. I've been influenced by other VTubers lately to play retro games because I honestly didn't think that it was an option to me. Well, I did know that it's an option, but I didn't think about, I don't want to become a retro streamer, but like I'm going to stream new games as well. But there are a lot of retro games that I liked in the past, and also back when I was young, obviously I didn't get all the games that I wanted, and I didn't get to play them. And now that I'm older, I can just perfectly legally get all the games and play them, the old games. Yeah, retro stuff is good. Tales of series, I haven't played them all, but a lot of them, and that's also something close to my childhood. Metroid Prime, that was the very first FPS game that I ever played. Well, I wouldn't call it that it's like FPS, it's more of a puzzle, but it has FPS elements. Of course you shoot and it's first person, but the game has emphasis on exploring and solving puzzles more than action, I think. The Elder Scrolls, another popular series. Pokemon, very important series throughout my whole life, really. I've played them since Red and Blue. I even took part in online tournaments in the past, and I always liked the strategy of Pokemon games, the mainline games. I didn't really play the spin-offs, like Pokemon Snap. I did play Pokemon Channel and Pokemon Coliseum, but I didn't play like what's it called, Mystery Dungeon, Ranger, and stuff like that. I never cared about the story in Pokemon games. I wanted to clear the game as soon as possible so I can go to the end game and start being competitive. Pokemon was my chess. That's all about that. Metal Gear, yes, a really hard game when I was a kid, and it has a really complex story, and lore of Metal Gear is huge, but overall Kojima games are really good. Rogue Galaxy, this is something that I haven't, like, none of my friends ever mentioned this game, and I have never known anyone in my even small friend group who has ever even played this game. And it was a shock to me because, well, it's a PlayStation 2 game, so it's not that old. PlayStation 2 is not that retro, right? But yeah, it's a long game, and I've been planning on playing that on stream. It's like over 50 hours long. It has really nice characters, a nice theme, and you've never heard of it. Yeah, it never got any sequels, and I don't believe... it's like licensed by Sony, I guess. And it's not made by some like known company. But yeah, maybe you'll see about that in the future if I play it. And the next game that I can't pronounce even after all these years, but if I do it Japanese way, maybe it's more correct. Batenkai Tosu. Yeah, it's another not that known game, and it's getting remaster on Switch soon, unless it already got it. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's also something. Maybe I'll probably play the. If I get the capture card, I'll play it on stream because it's a really interesting game. It's sort of like Final Fantasy, like the old, like maybe it's compared to Final Fantasy IX, maybe. But the fights, they are like, you have cards that you use in fights, and these cards give you like different moves. It's really interesting game. More about it when I actually play it. Old MMORPGs, especially Japanese or Asian MMORPGs. I don't really play them that often, but sometimes I get an urge to boot up like Ragnarok, or what else, like there are a lot of like unknown old MMORPGs. They don't have any official servers anymore, but fans didn't let go and they put up their own private servers for a lot of games. Various cult series such as Shin Megami Tensei, The Legend of Heroes, Armored Core, and so on. I'm not a hardcore fan of these games, at least yet, but I'm slowly getting into them, and I can understand why they have such a cult following. Maybe I do need some more water, so I'll be right back. Okay, and much better. I don't think I've ever done this much talking in any stream. Okay, moving on to anime. Steins Gate. Great anime. One of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites, and currently I'm playing the visual novel version, and I think it's so much better. Like, the anime is already good, but the visual novel is way better, at least in my opinion. Shakugan no Shana. This is really something that when I was in my early 20s, maybe 19, 20, that was the time when I started watching anime more. Like previously, I was watching series like, well, Pokemon was shown from the TV here, and sometimes Dragon Ball and Full Metal Alchemist. So I've seen those on TV. But then some of my friends watched those clips of, well, not clips, but episodes of Naruto from YouTube. If you remember the age where you had to watch a single episode from YouTube in the 4 parts, like 20-minute episode, and it was split in 5-minute clips. But I never watched any anime at home. I was always at my friend's place watching it. But then later, one of my friends just randomly started talking about like the anime that he was watching, and then I started searching up some for myself, and I picked Shakugan no Shana, and it's like 25 episodes per season, and it's 3 seasons long. So it was fairly long anime that I watched first, and after that I was just continuously searching new series to watch. As a series, the first 2 seasons really good, and then the 3rd season is like, what the hell just happened? But the ending is really satisfying, which is a nice thing if you get past the whole shenanigans that happen in 3rd season. But it's one of those old series that have great world building and stuff. Psycho-Pass. Yes, this is maybe it's just the 1st season, 2nd season, and I haven't even watched the 3rd season. Like, the 1st season is really good. I like the world and concepts coined in that series. Darker Than Black. This is a classic, I would say. A lot of people hated how it ended, and a lot of people also hated the 2nd season. But I have an unpopular opinion about it. I did enjoy 2nd season. It was very different from the 1st season. The phasing, like, the 1st season is more like episodic, and the main plot is just happening kind of in the background, and the 2nd season is more of a build-up. And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything if there are people in the chat who watched it. Eureka 7, really good series. I watched all seasons, even all, and all of the movies, and I still like it. A lot of people thought that the latest movies were too much, and they didn't like the things that was revealed in them, but I liked it. Be the Beginning. This is fairly new anime, but I really like the characters. I like the plot a lot, even though I feel like there are some elements to it that could have been left out. It also happens to have a 2nd season, but it's like, what, 6 episodes long maybe? And I watched 2 episodes and I was so disappointed that I couldn't, finish it, because it's one of those shows that don't need anything else. Like, it ends perfectly, and it doesn't make sense when they continue something like that. So I didn't finish it. Um, Talked OP Destiny. This is also fairly new anime. I'm a fan of classical music, so really good series if you like colors and music. Jormungand, if I pronounce that correctly, I believe it's German. I don't speak German. Sorry to any German watching this. If you're watching this on stream or if you're watching this on YouTube. Hi YouTube. It's a series about arms dealers. I think it's unique in a way that I have never seen anything similar done in anime. Like it follows basically villains, and the story is trying to make them look good, but they are not really that good people. It's really interesting anime. Even though I think it had some animation issues halfway, but the theme is really nice. Or interesting at least. Cautious Hero. This one I've watched like 3 times, 4 times, and it's just something that it hits my sense of comedy and humor so well. Like, there's so many good characters in it and so many good jokes, skits. It's just, it's so good. Blast of Tempest. Another one that is not that. I don't think people really ever mention this anywhere. And I didn't choose it here because I wanted to choose something unknown. As you can see, there are a lot of known animes here. It's really a series. It's a mystery series with hints of supernatural things happening. It references a lot of Shakespeare. It's hard to explain what's it about. There are a lot of dialogues in the game, anime. For example, there are 2 episodes where it's the same scene for 2 episodes, and they have basically a debate. 2 sides of people are having a debate, and they just talk about things, and there are plot twists happening and reveals being made. And if you enjoy long conversations and long dialogues, that's a really good series. Decadence, another new anime. I wouldn't call it any close to any masterpiece. I just thought that the concepts in it were really nice, and also the animation, like the way it changes animation, was also interesting. ID Invaded. This is yet another new anime, but I rarely see anyone talk about this. I think it has a lot of similarities with Psycho-Pass. So if someone likes Psycho-Pass, then ID Invaded is maybe good too. Alt Noah Zero. a lot of people said that it should have ended at the first season, but I disagree. For the sake of disagreeing, no. But I actually think that it ended well, and of course there's godly Hiroyuki Sawano music in it, which is always nice. Yeah, I think that's enough of anime and games. I have 2 slides left and half a cup left in my drink. I wonder if I have any voice tomorrow to play games. Next slide. Goals. They are the goals that I was talking about. I have categorized these to short-term, long-term, and far away goals. So, short-term goals are getting that capture card so I can stream Switch games. Getting affiliate. I'm not sure if that's going to happen before Christmas, but after I reach affiliate, I don't care about growth anymore after that. I'm doing this as a hobby. I have never considered that I would do this full time. So I don't mind if the chat is quiet or there aren't many viewers. But I have plans that require me to get affiliate because it unlocks things like points and emotes, and I don't care about subscriptions, but it unlocks doors. Unique BGM. I do have a acquaintance who does music as a job, and I was talking to him about getting BGM, like the starting music, unique to mine, because now if you go to my description box below, you can find links that the musics that I'm using here are free to use music. But I'd like to have something unique. And also something that I didn't add here is I'd also like a unique background. Something that is not AI generated. Yeah, those are my short-term goals. Long-term goals are complete my master's degree, which is something that I talked about in the beginning. I'm going to start it next year. Well, basically, I've already started that in a way where I've been doing research about my paper that I'm going to write. Move to Japan to practice more martial arts. This is something that I've been wanting to do a long time. And I was supposed to move to Japan like 4 years ago, but because of COVID, I couldn't do that. And then all of the plans were messed up and things happened and I couldn't do it. But I would like to move there so I could start at least one more martial art. For example, I'd like to start Kyudo, which is Japanese archery. It's very similar to Iaido in a way, where it's not a competition, but more of a developing like self-discipline and concentration. Sadly, they don't have Kyoto in the city where I live currently. Like the closest one is 200 kilometers away, and I won't be going that far just to spend an hour or two with the martial art. I have my assistant software join streams. So if you haven't been in my streams, I've sometimes talked about the assistant software that I've made myself. It's similar to like Siri and like Alexa, but it's done like it doesn't use any online things other than, well, a lot of tools require online, but it works offline too, and it doesn't gather any data that I don't know about. And that was the reason I wanted to make one, so I can have control over all of the data with my assistant software. I thought it would be kind of funny if that would be awesome. Yeah, I think it would be kind of funny if I had like redeem. This has something to do with the affiliate. Like if I could have a redeem where people in the chat could ask the software about something and it would answer, or it would comment the things that I say, or you know, there are a lot of options to do there. Yeah. Far away goals. Getting PhD. Originally I wanted to like grind from bachelor's to PhD in one go, but as I explained, I wanted to do work in the between, so maybe it will take like 10 years or so when I even start my PhD, or rather start it. I mean, like get the papers out. Release my game. Yes, I talked about game creation in the beginning. I could have gone for crowdfunding and stuff like that, but I feel like I want to do it in my own pace, and I don't like feeling pressure from people wanting to play the game. And I just want to do it on my own time and on my own schedule, and then just release it whenever it's ready. Like, it's also a hobby, but it's something that I want to make. You could consider that it's my life's work. Yeah. Have my own garden and greenhouse of weird plants. This is something few people know about this, but I'd really like to get into gardening. Not that I don't care about flowers. I care about like strange plants and like something that you wouldn't see in the nature that often. And even like useful plants. Like I could grow my own tomatoes or something. But I would never become a farmer. I would just do it as a hobby. Yeah, maybe someday. It sounds cool. Yeah, it sounds cool to me too. Okay, final slide. Thank you for watching. I told you there was cake. You're welcome. was nice, small, cozy introduction, and I didn't like. I was actually glad that the chat wasn't that busy, because I would have been a nervous wreck. The cake was not a lie. No, the cake was real. So yeah, I think the only thing left now is to show you the full model, I guess. Yes. Let's see. Oh wait, before that, about tomorrow. What was the game called that I was going to play? I'm going to play a game called Jade Cocoon, Story of the Tamamaya. It's a late 90s RPG for PlayStation 1. It has similarities to Pokemon, like it's a monster catching game. And it has voice acting, which is rare for a game that old. At least partly voice acted. And the art is done by Studio Ghibli. So you might recognize the art style. I honestly have never heard about that game before. I actually heard about that game recently. I looked clips. Like, it's not a long RPG, but I watched clips and it looked really fun. So that's something that I'm going to play tomorrow. About the same time that I started streaming today. And next week I'm going back to my old schedule with 1 to 3 streams a week, solely depending how busy I am and how much work I have, how much one button pressing I have at work. Okay. Hold on. Should I do this? Can I fit here? Maybe I can show it like this. So you can see my model here, the half part. Yes, I do have shoes on. And that's it. I think my model is fairly simplistic, and that's fine. I want a simplistic model. Wait, how big was I? I think this is around the same size. Yeah, oh man, that was 2 hours. I don't have anything else since I'm not playing games today. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Thank you for coming, and if you watch this on YouTube, thank you for watching, and I hope I see you in the stream. Yeah, games tomorrow. It was really fun. I didn't freak out, and that was good. So yeah, I hope you like congrats Newcastle. Yeah, thanks, thank you for stopping, and I see you tomorrow. Yeah, that's all. You can go away now. Bye. I don't have any on the screen, so I'm just gonna quit this. So yeah, bye.